run.
Well, I have been told we are pretty much getting ready to go. Let's take a quick peek at the series layout while we make sure everything is set on the main stage. But as we were talking before, Optic Gaming versus FaZe Clan, our winners semi-finals, best of fives. This is where we're starting. Stronghold Recharge, then we're heading over to Slayer on Solitude. I'm very excited to see these first two maps. This will indicate how this series is going to go for both of these teams. Who's got it? Red or green? Golden Boy and Walshy, it's over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Lottie and Tony, for that one, folks. Here we go, Optic versus FaZe. And I know, what time is it? We got 8 o'clock, it's still early. Make some noise, let's get ready. Because we're gonna get ourselves a banger here between two teams that have met each other time and time and time again. And this time around, well, feels like a different situation. I don't know why. This one feels a little, because like both teams are in different places than what they were before.
Just felt odd.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. With the amount of upsets, with the amount of teams that came in looking strong but falling short in pools, but then bouncing back like we saw between Optic and SSG, I don't know how to predict this one anymore. All predictions out the window. But as time saws, we are in for a good match regardless. It's going to be Optic versus FaZe Clan, and Formal taken out immediately, followed by Frosty.
Yeah, hot start there. Were they able to pick up the camo is actually what I'm wondering, but
Camo was burned by Frosty.
Camo was burned, okay. So they do manage to get that pick up, and not much use out of it there, though. Deadzone now looking to cause some problems over here. Optic in the red, FaZe Clan in the blue. And if you are a FaZe fan, I know that's going to be a little weird to get used to there, considering this team's always in red. But it was a different tournament coming out of Atlanta. But we're also seeing FaZe now trying to pick up the pieces here to go up against it. Oh, my word.
Look at that movement by Renegade, just doing that last-second clamber over on the catwalk, almost pulling a little crazy play there, but eventually taken down. And now we're going to see some points put on the board here for FaZe Clan as they have that A-B setup.
Frosty over here toward Whirl. Now, they don't know that there's going to be one player located down low. They might have gotten a call out or two, but nothing really is there to indicate that anyone's going to be there.
Oh, just seeing that nade, toss the nades at the double stacks.
That's good reaction time, man, to just be able to see that. He was so focused on that player toward the plat, and then he sees that grenade come on. He's like, wait a minute.
That's one thing that you'll continually notice from the higher level players and the higher teams is very rarely are they just throwing nades to start the engagement. They're throwing nades to end an engagement. Once somebody is weak, they're not usually doing it to create the opportunity. And right there is a perfect example of why, because that gave away his position. Instead, he could get hit by that grenade at double stacks when his position was completely hidden from FaZe.
Now, as we look forward here, you had an attempted flip, and now they're going to go back into it here, Optic Gaming, and they will be able to make B theirs. So B and C control for Optic. FaZe now needing to respond. Renegade's going to be tucked away inside of the elevator here, waiting to see if there's a chance for him to push. Going to try and coordinate here with World 2. Got one player toward the grapple shot, so those are going to be some clean shots now.
Yeah,
Frosty.
Camel coming up.
Yeah, and that Frosty was in a position to be able to do that, or to be able to fight for it. Ended up dying in that exchange there. It's going to be 4 down for FaZe Clan. That's doom and destruction, and Optic Gaming get themselves a camo.
And look at this, Frosty trying to take out Formal. Formal eventually slips away. But I also think TriPPPeY's spot was hidden there, because I thought Frosty was confused and thought that Formal was the only one inside that B hill. And TriPPPeY jumped on up towards top gold, got that kill, got that trade out, and now we see that temporary trip cap there for Optic Gaming.
That was a really funny moment where you hear the grapple shot, you hear it connect with the shock rifle, and then Formal goes to grab it. He's like, wait a minute, where did it go? It was just here. Thankfully, it was delivered to him. So all's well that ends well, right? But 53-43. Close game here at the start, which is what we've come to expect between Optic and FaZe. A C push, or excuse me, an A push now happening. World 2's making himself a difficult target. He can't quite find the mark on that one. Formal, and that is going to come with a flip, but he will have some help there, and World 2 will not be alive long enough to be able to contribute a meaningful amount of score to the board there.
Great patience there by Formal as well, realizing that he can't just charge up those stairs and win that disadvantageous fight against World 2. Instead, he's just going to try to poke a few shots from Whirlpool and let his teammate come in to finish the job.
And Formal again is going to have to hear that hill being captured there. The stronghold's going to the side of FaZe Clan, as well as flipping A. Now they're going to go ahead and set their sights and focus here to the back side by pipes. See if anyone's going to be pushing through this one. They do have this shock rifle. It's been changing hands quite a bit since it spawned up. But this is continuing to be a close one here. Now, where is the opening? Who's going to be the one to be the crack in the wall that's going to fall apart? Oh, nice shot there from World 2 to push that player back. That's going to be Lucid. he's going to be dealing with a little bit of tension on the right side, too, because you see Deadzone now making his way in, trying to push forward. And just as I say that, too, they ended up getting a massive pick there to create the flip. So they successfully do so, Dave.
Well, one thing also to take in solace here is that we were worried about FaZe's objective efficiency.
Yeah.
Generally not as worried about it on something like Strongholds because they're able to slay or trade and be in fine position. But right now they're in a position where Optic were slightly outslain when FaZe were keeping up with them. So that usually bodes well. If FaZe are able to keep up in slays or go ahead and slays at this pace, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, and as we continue to harp on the fact that get a lot of kills is good, like that's what you want to do. But in the instance, you got to be able to capitalize on those opportunities as they're presented, and FaZe knows that better than anyone else here. Now an attempted trip cap coming through for FaZe Clan. Can they successfully accomplish this? Yes, they can, and they will. Lucid taking a few shots there. SnakeBite's going to be there for the pickup, so he doesn't have to worry about that. World 2 does. So he gets away from the action, and now they're going to set their attention over towards C. 3 players for Optic Gaming lingering about. The flip comes through. Trip cap for the time being, though, netted them a decent amount of points, but they still have A and B control.
And look at that, just wisely backing down from long haul. Usually when teams commit towards there, they would be fighting from Sneaky and long haul till the death, but some grenade must have hit over at Sneaky and backed down those players. So Royal 2, instead of just trying to be a hero and ego it over at C-Plat, he backs down his teammate and holds the 2-cap setup.
Brilliant work, by the way, there from Optic to keep their teammate alive in a situation that could have very well gone south for them. Renegade's got a lot of work ahead of him, and no shots were going across there, so he's going to have to just fight him straight up. He's going to have to fight the next guy straight up as well. Push coming in from the yellow side. World 2 cannot stand tall there, but his teammate had his back. So SnakeBite, the general, what does he look to do here? Is he's going to hold this position in the cross? And kudos to Renegade, by the way, for holding that area down for such a long time and has netted FaZe so many points.
Yeah, but here comes the reverse trip cap. A and B being captured by Optic. Let's see how long they can hold this one for. Unfortunately, FaZe are stuck in pipes, and B is not a good stronghold to go for during a trip cap scenario. Instead, they're trying to dive on it. This could be disastrous.
They go for the flip, and they successfully accomplish that. And off screen, you saw Frosty pick up that camo. One player toward A. This is an opportunity now to move forward and just force the issue here toward A side. And you saw that grenade as well. So they're anticipating a push coming in from World, but they're not able to flip that. Frosty was waiting for someone to come up, but instead he's actually going to play this one real
He's
sneakily.
outnumbered. He does not want to challenge that right on at A elevator. Instead, he wants to keep this B. B is the most difficult stronghold to get a hold of. So they don't want to lose that after they were able to somehow miraculously get that from pipes.
Yeah.
That still blows my mind that they were able to dive into B and get control of camo when they didn't have control of the entire map.
Yeah, that was a Herculean effort there by FaZe Clan. Formal now, though, looking to take down SnakeBite across field, which he successfully does so. The B flip coming in now. Optic Gaming getting back on the board here. It's a close matchup. Formal's got himself the shock rifle again, and he's able to squeak his way out of there into yellow pipes.
Yeah, let's see where he decides to play this one. They know the push is going to be coming towards elevator. When is it going to be? And now is the time. Royal 2 at the bomb elevator. Can his teammate clean this up? And here comes more players all the way through Needler and World.
Big
Good
kills.
shots and damage coming out of Formal. Racking up 2 assists, making a 3rd kill right there. And that's 3/4 of FaZe Clan out of there.
Not what you want to see if you're the members of FaZe when things look like they could have been going pretty well for you. You start to crumble, and Optic Gaming is taking over the lead here. FaZe Clan had a real hot start. That trip cap gave them so many points, and they were able to continue to hold B and C control too. But now, things have just gotten a little bit worse here, but not out of the hot seat quite yet, though. Flip coming in. Nope, no, not quite yet. You have a little bit of progress left there on B. I don't think anyone's really in a position to try and contest that. Renegade's in a fight in the distance. He ends up losing that battle. That's going to be a trade, though, and they're actually going for it.
I like this play. Low numbers on the map. Is a 2-on-2 scenario. SnakeBite can isolate a 1v1 and grab time in that center stronghold. So that's a great play. Now, if it was like a 4-on-4 scenario, that's not as good to give up that first death. But since there were fewer players on the map, SnakeBite knew he could jump in there and finish up that stronghold.
Intelligent plays there from FaZe, but it's not going to last very long because Optic Gaming get control again, and now they're going to go for another trip cap. Camo's going to assist them in that one. They have no idea where Formal's going to be located, so they'll gladly take control of this. And now they cross the 200-point threshold here for Optic Gaming. If you're FaZe Clan, you got to put the pedal to the metal here and now, and you cannot let Optic run away with this one.
Yeah, and that was a huge stop by Lucid to get Renegade out of there, but damage still being done. FaZe captures C. FaZe captures B. They stopped the bleeding just as soon as that trip cap started. You got to wonder if Optic overextended during that trip cap.
Yeah, potentially, but they are okay right now because they got A and B control, and this is all they need in order for them to win this. FaZe Clan have struggled to be able to make moves, and Optic Gaming have benefited greatly as a result of that. Crossing now 230, 20 points left here for Optic Gaming to secure this win. And FaZe Clan, they had such a great mid game, but toward that late game, things really started to fall apart here.
That first pick is so huge, getting that kill onto Royal 2. And look at that, that's gonna be 2 down. FaZe Clan have 1 push, and they gotta do it right now before Optic closes it out, and that's gonna be it. Game number 1 going for Optic Gaming.
And a clean one, too, at that. Once they were able to establish a little bit of separation between themselves and FaZe, at that point, they ran away with it. And we were commending FaZe for their objective efficiency, or excuse me, their slaying efficiency. This time around, it was all Optic, 58-44 total. So you got to be quite satisfied with yourself there if you're a Greenwall fan. And Optic Gaming put one on the board right away, strike first here in this semifinal game.
Yeah, and when we critique FaZe on the overslaying, we're not saying don't outslay Optic. We're just saying you can't overslay and not do the objective. If they get in a position where they're getting outslayed by Optic in objective games, they are in pure trouble. So maybe go back to the roots, get those slaves on the board, get some comfortability going for them.
Yeah, they're going to need to do it and do it fast. Also do want to once again commend Deadzone. I feel like every time I'm casting him, he's been actually playing incredibly well. So 18 kills for him in this one, certainly contributing a fair amount to the success here of Optic Gaming, who have secured themselves that first map win. And there were some great decision-making moments there, from really both sides. But I think what really sticks with me here is just that Optic Gaming, whenever they were in a position where they were pressed or they felt like they didn't really have an opening, they waited, and then they would make that play happen. They would go for the push. They would allow FaZe to maybe overextend. They might even overextend sometimes, but they would do so with the idea that they have a fallback plan, and that fallback plan worked out for them greatly, especially when they had that trip cap, and we were concerned, oh, did Optic do a little bit too much here? No, not at all. Instead, it ended up being a wonderfully played first map for Optic. That late game hold was a thing of beauty, and now we get ready for Solitude Slayer here, Dave.
Solitude Slayer up next, like you said. When we heard Tony talking about these matchups, he said that FaZe need to win one of these first 3. Bring it to game 4, bring it to game 5.
Yeah.
Solitude's gonna be an important one for them.
Yeah, this is the one that I'm really looking at.
They got outslayed in objective. You gotta almost assume that there's a chance that once again, Optic might outslay FaZe in game number 3 during the objective. Now, number 2, right here in a team slayer, they get to dictate the pace, go as fast or as slow as they'd like.
Yeah, they have a 73.3% win percentage on Slayer FaZe. Meanwhile, and that's of course for the whole season, 59% win rate for Optic Gaming. So statistically, coming into this one, FaZe a little bit better, but as we've seen before with Optic Gaming, whenever you think that you have them, backs against the ropes, maybe one more hit, you knock them out.
Also, just the amount of records, like how many games they have in throughout this year, shows that, yeah, Optic's played the most games out of anyone on the circuit, getting to second place every single event. Just every single time. And also how stiff a competition they have to play.
Yeah, they really
playing
do.
the teams in grand finals, they're playing teams in winners bracket finals, they're playing teams at every step of the way that are tough.
Yeah, but I am very happy to see this bounce back from Optic Gaming after a really rocky start on Friday. FaZe Clan, they actually had the opposite. They had a lovely Friday. They were dominating, playing an incredible Halo. But Optic Gaming on the other side, they were a little bit in shambles. So to see this turnaround in such a short amount of time is a commendable attribute to this Optic Gaming roster. But now we get ready for a Solitude Slayer, map 2. Shock Rifle's going to play a big focus here and look for Formal, look for SnakeBite or Renegade, mostly Renegade, going after that Shock Rifle at a moment's notice. And here we go.
That starter grenade there from Lucid, throwing it all the way towards Poster Stairs. Look at this, Lucid versus Frosty over at Snipe. Both getting each other in one shot. Who's going to challenge and win?
That's going to be
Lucid.
Yeah, Lucid gets the dub there. And on top of that, too, you end up getting a Shock Rifle and a camo. So all the goodies are going to be the side of Optic Gaming. See what they could do with this here as players are going to be spawning up ahead here, and TriPPPeY's got eyes.
TriPPPeY's calling that out real quick, too. He says, spawned over loop. How are we going to push in on this? TriPPPeY unfortunately misses those shots. Are they going to charge and make this fight? But it looks like Renegade gets the first pick onto Deadzone. Here comes the charge, and that's going to be TriPPPeY traded out. Not the amount of value he wanted out of that camo shock rifle.
Yeah. And I think in those situations, too, I would have preferred him to just not pick up the shock rifle in that instance and maybe dish that over to somebody else, especially when you have that camo. But, you know, he saw an opportunity to make a play and he missed a shot. Had he not missed a shot, maybe it would have been a little bit of a different situation.
That's the whole thing, is it's, you know, it's all or nothing sort of with that shock rifle. You need to go for that headshot, and the fact that he just straight up missed there, it happens.
Yeah.
We'd be, like you said, we'd be talking a whole different story there if he hits that headshot and all of a sudden they get the spawn trap over at driveway and over towards loop, but just didn't happen that way. That's what happens at this highest level of Halo. You miss one shot, you get severely punished for it.
Indeed you do. Now, see two members of Optic Gaming maybe looking to posture themselves over toward that snipe side, but they're pinned. They're pinned by the truck and they can't really get out of there. But they're waiting for that opportunity. You see Formal waiting in the wings, but he's not going to be long for this world. He was one shot. He gets headshotted right out of the gate there.
Look at that spawn awareness by Royal, too.
Yeah, that was kind of freaky.
All trapped over at Hotel and Snipe side, and realizing that they're putting so much pressure that the next logical spawn set is over near yard.
Clean, calm shots from Royal 2. Feel like I've been commentating him for years, doing the same exact thing. Sends that nade right back and return that one to Descender. And that's 7 kills for Royal 2 here, man. He is playing phenomenally.
Yeah, he's on a 6-kill spree right now. Make that a 7-kill spree. This guy is unstoppable, helping lead FaZe to this victory right now.
And they need something to take them to the promised land here, and what better than Royal 2 popping off in these critical situations. Frosty anticipating some kind of push. It's not going to come through here, not quite, but there is going to be a couple players located right in front of him, so won't be long for this world in that instance. Now, though, you can see two members of FaZe Clan actually pinned over toward blue. Renegade able to get that kill, and I got 2 more guys by the snipe side, so they're going to have to dip out of this.
Spawners there over at the snipe side, so I think that was a situation where Deadzone was hoping to flank over and help at market, but just not knowing where the other players are at, you don't want to just sprint across the map and make yourself a free kill.
FaZe Clan up by 3 presently. Shock rifle coming up in a few seconds here. I believe Frosty does get possession of that. Looking to put this one to good use here.
I like this play too. Since the game slowed down so much, you don't want to overstep. They're going to be watching for any lower flanks, but right there, you're not expecting Renegade to full-on flank you when you have this element of surprise.
And Renegade has a habit of doing the unexpected. I would definitely say, oh, big hit there, but Frosty's going to back away, and so is Formal. But Formal actually ends up running into the hands of Royal 2 in that exchange. Now it's going to be 2 players down here, and it's just going to try and burn this clip out. Okay, I'll take that one. If you're Frosty, no player around the corner. It doesn't quite land those shots, but he's got Royal 2 there to help him out. At least he gets 1 out of it, but it is going to be a trade.
Get the trade there, but for how strong of a start we have from Royal 2, this is not what you'd like to see here for FaZe. Yes, they have the lead right now, but Royal 2 going 10-3. SnakeBite not able to get any of the finishes on any of his kills right now. Instead, he's being the front man. He's the one that's charging out, trying to create opportunities for all these players to get opportunity, or to get a opening and push through. But every single time, SnakeBite's been getting shut down. At some point, you have to wonder, does he have to reel it back, or what does FaZe have to do different?
And it does feel like that's what he's doing here. And I think the Commando might actually be a good pickup for him in this instance, because anyone pushes through that room there, they're going to more than likely slide through it, and they'll have to commit to that slide, so then SnakeBite can just pepper them with those Commando shots. Off screen, though, you're starting to see that push come through from the cafe, right? You got Formal as well as TriPPPeY lingering about there. Watch out for Lucid. He's in a bit of a cheeky position, but actually ends up getting hit with a back whack there, courtesy of Lucid. Oh, sorry, of Royal 2.
Yeah, and Royal 2 pushed on through the market. Seems like SnakeBite's a little too far from the action. Now pushing on in, knowing that players are weak at a cafe. And just his luck gets stuck right there.
Hey, you hate to see it, man. When you're looking for that first kill, you want to try and just, you know, get things going, right? Get that energy in this game, but SnakeBite's been struggling to be able to find it. But it's all right, though, because his team has been picking up those kills. They've been having his back, and that is exactly what you want to see. Why Renegade is on this team.
Yeah, that's the most important part, though, is I've always been a big proponent, even if your individual stats aren't shining that well, you need to keep playing the way that you're playing if your team is winning. And SnakeBite, he can't just sit back and hide. He still needs to get right in that action, still needs to create these opportunities for his teammates to take advantage of because his team's still up by 6. He's doing something right even though it's not showing in his kill column.
And look at where the entirety of Optic pinned in yard. Unable to get out of this one. Here comes Royal 2. Formal. Well, thought he was trying to make this jump happen, but he knew that as soon as he clambered up there, he was going to be met by a couple bullets from the bandits of FaZe. New camo's going to be coming up in a moment here too. Optic have been doing a good job of getting the camos, but they haven't been doing a good job of keeping those camos and utilizing them. Last time, Deadzone picked it up, ended up getting burned immediately by the players by posters.
Yeah, Renegade just out in no man's land here. Bottom center, somehow still living though. Eventually taken out by Lucid and Deadzone. Not sure what happened with the camo because I know Renegade was up there. It's still up in top center. 4-kill lead here for FaZe, make it 5. But now we have shock rifle camo in the hands of Formal. Let's see what this man can do.
Oh yeah, he could put this to work. He's going to play this slowly, right? He's not going to try and chase anything sillily or silly pushes. It's going to be a little bit more methodical. Time those shots. But the thing is that Renegade had the beat on him, and that was always going to be a difficult battle to win there. Renegade gets possession of that shock rifle again, and FaZe continue their lead. 6 kills presently.
Not what you wanted to see there from Foremost. That first kill was great. Unfortunately, gets picked off before he can make anything else happen. And this is just a situation where Renegade and Royal 2 are taking over in this game.
5 minutes remaining.
You hear the time ticking in. Formal with a creep around the corner looking to crouch that. Does he tag him in the booty? Yes, he does. Looking for another one. Oh, the dang wall blocked it. But hey, good attempt there by Renegade.
Look at Renegade feeling himself. He has shock rifle. He can sit back and just try to use that distance advantage. Instead, he's flying out into the action. He wants to get up close and personal. He wants to get as many engagements as possible with how he's playing and how he's shooting.
Renegade looking to play his life here, but does not work out for him in that exchange. Optic Gaming still very much in this. We've been seeing all weekend long, Dave, matches that when you think, oh, this team's going to peel away. This team's going to be able to get like 6, 7 kills. Surely they walk away with the win. And then we end up out of nowhere 47-47. So, you know, I'm really not counting my chickens before they hatch, right? That's the phrase.
Some sort of saying.
Count my eggs. I don't know. I don't freaking know things. 40 points, excuse me, cross here for FaZe Clan. World 2, big fight happening over toward blue. Did he get the stick on him? No, he doesn't.
Close.
Very close there. But each and every one of these kills, each and every one of these trades is going to benefit FaZe Clan. So every single time a member of Optic goes down, or rather a member of FaZe goes down, Optic goes down in the same exact breath. It's been back and forth this entire time, but with that little bit of a buffer, FaZe are right there from being able to finish this one.
Yeah, just playing those exchanges perfectly.
You take those.
Somehow getting that stick across the map. 5-kill lead here for FaZe, and with how they're playing and how they're exchanging, I don't see anything changing here.
We don't need to really do all that much.
Felt like that last little push was Optic's chance. It felt like when they had him stuck over at the cafe and getting those kills, but they just got traded out each time. Royal 2 getting that kill. Royal 2 throwing the nade, getting some damage.
The heavy hitters here for FaZe Clan definitely living up to that. World 2 and Renegade working together here. Frosty's got himself the shock, and he'll go ahead and
he's
put
just
some damage
wasting
out
some
there.
ammo as well.
Yep.
He wants to make sure that if he somehow loses this, he's not giving a full shock rifle over to Optic. And so there he goes. He used up about half the bullets.
Yeah.
Realized his team
He'll
only needs
gladly
3
take the
kills.
shots. He'll gladly take the
It's the wise play.
2 players tucked away over toward that truck. Frosty looking to get the win here. Gets the kill. Big kill there. Number 49, number 50 coming in. And FaZe Clan answer back, tied up 1-1.
What a stellar performance there from Renegade and the FaZe roster.
No, Stellar's
that
on
win
SSG.
when they need it.
Stellar's on SSG. I don't know if you know that.
I will give you all the courtesy laughs. All of them.
Hey, that's a Mimi joke, so I gotta do it for my dog. But all right, we're all knotted up here, folks. Optic Gaming walked into that one expecting that, you know, especially with them getting those early camos, you're like, okay, you could try and, you know, gain some momentum here. But credit to FaZe Clan, every single time Optic put themselves in a position to try and gain some kind of advantage through weaponry or even just, you know, positioning in general, FaZe were always there to answer back. It's impressive to see in these Slayer games. Even when you have SnakeBite struggling to be able to get kills on the board, he's not struggling to assist his teammates and give them as much support as he possibly can. He had 6 assists out of that game, but he probably had a few more considering that he was putting shots into everyone.
Lots of call-outs, lots of plays. Now, the bigger thing to keep in consideration, though, is I'm not worried about the time when a member of FaZe is underslain and they're still winning.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the times where they overslay and do not get the objective efficiency that they need. So, great play by SnakeBite there. Once their team got further in this game, he basically went even. You know, he started the game, what, like 0-7, and then ended at, 3-11?
Yeah, with 6 assists, you know, not bad at all.
But just playing his role, watching the right angles, pushing when he need to, and like I said, getting very unlucky or unfortunate a lot of times where you get stuck or just these kills are all hard. You're playing against these members of Optic. They're not easy kills.
I do find it to be quite funny that we joked about it potentially going to 47-47, but he got really close there, Dave. He got really close in these Slayers. You can see Formal, little bio break for him there, so we'll get back into the action in a little bit. And map 3 will be Streets
in his head
Oddball.
right now. All right, next time they push over towards top this side, I'll be throwing my nade at this angle to perfectly land right here.
Probably is, honestly. Or looking at stats, one or the other. Streets Oddball on the horizon. And then we make our way over to King of the Hill live fire. And Tony had called it before on the desk. He said, you need FaZe to get at least one of these first 3. And they do that, mission accomplished. But now, do you try and hedge your bets? Go after that 3rd map here. You got to, no choice, obviously. But Optic Gaming coming into a ball, I gotta say, I mean, you know, such a great record for them in this particular game mode. 17-3 overall in the season. And granted, they've played it more than anyone else because they're playing a lot of games, but still 17-3 with the quality of opponents that they face off regularly. Goes to show you how strong this team is in Oddball. But while I say that, though, something I do want to make note of here in Salt Lake City, FaZe Clan actually having a pretty decent amount of success with Oddball. 3-0 in overall total up until this point. So, you know, they might be feeling themselves a little bit here. And you can see who are the guys that are primarily going to be leading the charge when it comes to objective efficiency. No surprise there that it's SnakeBite and TriPPPeY. And even though TriPPPeY's been a little quiet today, I'm waiting for that big game moment to come up from him.
Big game TriPPPeY. He'll come out, and we'll see if it's out this series or later series, because I'm sure they have a long-term life ahead of themselves. But how deep they make of a run is going to be decided in this series right here. 1-1. Winner of this match is going to be in the winners bracket finals.
My guy's dedicated. He's got the stream up on the other side. He's trying to get his skins, while at the same time watch Quadrant play too. She just yelled to the crowd, to the heavens. I'll assume it was cheering for
Still
Frosty.
doing math. He's like, yeah, actually, round it over there.
I like how we had this whole thing happen, and then we came back and Lucid still has.
God, that's why the nade didn't land there.
Lucid still has the same expression. All this happened, and he's still there, just pondering. What a day it has been. Upsets, fantastic moments across the board here. But I am really looking to see how these teams set up on Streets, right? Because I feel like that has been kind of the theme today whenever you and I get an opportunity to cast some of these games. Teams have really not been able to get comfortable in those setups here and on Streets. I mean, I can't really see that being...
I was going to say, Streets Oddball as well, it's not one that you can rotate as well compared to something like Live Fire. Live Fire is all about those rotations. So I would say if this was a Live Fire Oddball, I would be more worried about FaZe here. But based on how we saw them slaying that last game, if they can get the kills, you can hold some strong setups here on Streets Oddball.
Yeah, we've seen teams just run away with it with great positioning, great setups, not allowing anyone to be free to do whatever they want willy-nilly here. Everyone's coming out. It's a good time. Hopefully Formal's back from his bio break.
We saw him walk back. He came back to the chair, yeah.
Is he? All right, good on him.
Down. We'll be getting this game up shortly.
Quick one. Don't drink too much water.
I saw a thumbs up right there.
Oh, man. Yeah, and also too, like how those openings are going to be, right? Because we've been seeing, Dave, a few, like Optic's had quite a few decent openings to like get those nades in places where they know those FaZe players are going to push, right? And on streets, I mean, you have those clear lines of sight that you can really, really screw someone up when they try and contest in those early exchanges.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how this plays off the start, but I don't expect any early ball grab here. I'll probably be wrong, but I don't expect as much of an early ball grab versus these teams making sure they get a bunch of damage, get a kill, and then go for that ball.
Yeah. All right. Players are loading in. It's time to do this. Map 3, oddball, 2 rounds to win. You already know what the gimmick is. Let's see how this all plays out, shall we? 1-1, tied up. So now both teams are like, screw it. This ain't a BO5 anymore. This is a BO3. Let's focus on the task at hand. Win these 2 maps and move forward in this tournament. What an accomplishment it will be for FaZe after a disappointing Atlanta finish to have, to beat the team that beat SSG. That'd be sick. I see a hand raise.
Going awry.
You know,
so
I had a feeling
what's going on.
I had a feeling. That's why I didn't get all hyped up. You know what I mean?
I was actually just like checking out everything on Mombasa there. I was like, man, it seems like a place I'd like to visit. I saw like burgers, arcade,
I would love to live
cafeteria,
there.
Hollow Dog.
Yeah,
one Hollow Dog.
Like, what's even a Hollow Dog? You know, like
man's best friend, Hollow Form.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you didn't see that? You'll see the
I
billboard.
thought you were talking about a hot dog.
No, we got hot dogs here in the venue. Hollow Dog.
I was like, what the hell's a Hollow Dog? How do you eat that? That must not be quite filling. it's just the skin of the hot dog, no meat in the middle. That actually that's a nightmare somewhere. Oh man. We've also had a couple side tournaments happening over in the stations. You can see in the distance. Well, we had Halo 3 4v4s and a couple other really fun events. FFA was yesterday too. So much to do here. If you haven't had a chance to ever come to a Halo event, I highly suggest it. Worlds is around the corner. Don't know if you guys know that, but Worlds kind of slaps. So you should come through because it is a damn good time up in Seattle. All right, I see players getting ready to go. So we might be jumping into the action. See, now I feel confident, Dave, to like.
You feel better this time.
I feel good.
All right.
Nothing will go wrong. Knock on wood. you gotta make sure I don't, because somewhere in the back the production team's like, why did he say that?
Everything was fine until he uttered those words.
Remove this man.
Well, these players have had plenty of time to think about the start here on streets. I would guess that probably nothing has changed over those minutes.
Yeah.
They're gonna go with their tried and true starts that they've practiced, that they know are consistent. Going to try to counter each other here right off the bat. We're going to see, I would say the only chance that we'll really see an early ball grab would be potentially if Optic get a lot of damage over towards the Neon side, and then someone wants to just grab that, jump up from ATMs, and bring it back towards tower.
Yeah,
That's the only early ball grab. There's going to be no early ball grab from FaZe side.
Yeah.
They have to get slays, have to push out, take up more ground before they can get that ball.
And let's not forget, too, about camo, right? So, you know, you got to worry about that. You just have to worry about all sorts of stuff.
Everything, pretty much.
Everything on this one. I think players should be loading up. I see them loading into the lobby here. We thank you so much for joining us for our podcast. You know, you can find us on Spotify.
Would you do a podcast? My nightmare.
Would you do a podcast with me,
Absolutely
Dave?
not.
You want to do a podcast with me?
I feel like I already do a podcast with you every day. Like when I go in the back by the green room and you're just talking to me, I'm like, wait, he's still talking at me right now.
That's right. If there's one thing, I love the sound of my own voice. Okay? I'm going to have you know that right now. How dare you disrespect it? All right. I'm hearing players moving around. I think we're in this one. Let's do this, baby.
And that was a fast charge over towards the Neon side. I don't know how Renegade got that close without being spotted before, but what an unorthodox start from both these teams.
Ball gets grabbed early on from Optic Gaming here. First 20 or so seconds. Look at that commando just raining
that was
down.
so accurate.
Yeah, he was hitting every single shot, but he needs to be careful because he knows someone else is going to pop up behind him. Got 2 players weakened over toward the arcade streets. And somehow, some way, he got Renegade
He got the stick on the B stairs and then gets finished off the tires. So just all these players just going down one after the other. Not sure if it's time for ball, though, because it's still a 3-on-3 scenario. Looks like Lucid's going to try to scrap a few seconds of time, but like I said, streets can be scary. You don't want to give up too many free deaths on here, and that could be argued as a free death there by Lucid.
Ball drop.
And now Stalker Rifle going in the hands of Renegade. He's got a decent amount of ammo with it, but he didn't have a decent amount of shield, so he's not going to be long for this world. Watch out on the flank, though. It's actually going to be one of the members from FaZe Clan actually creeping up from right from side of Tram. Ball's played over toward the palm trees here. World 2 looking to win this one out. Instead, just going to have to go with the trade in that situation.
That's such a win by Lucid in that scenario, as he is already down in shots, to be able to turn that, burn Royal 2, and get the melee. That should have been a situation where Royal 2 was live at the end, and that's just those small little battles and advantages that these players are going for.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that little extra damage before they die, or while they're down in the fight, they're trying to close that gap and get a melee to get the finish and trade.
That was brutal. Spike grenade just absolutely obliterated TriPPPeY when he was pushing inside of there here, but now we got FaZe Clan with control. Ball's over toward this Tram side. Look where that camouflage popping up in 4 seconds here. We're almost waiting for an opportunity to go in for the push. Trying to see if he can get a read on it here, but there's not really much that Renegade can do. He's just going to have to fight this one out. He can't get the trade, but maybe someone from his teammate, from his team, excuse me, is going to be present to help him out, but that's not going to be the case. Formal's still going to be alive. Finally, Frosty comes around the corner to pick him off. Deadzone, though, with camo, is doing a good job of just laying information out in the field. But when you see those blue players on that screen, he's going to be waiting for his teammates coming up from the driveway. But watch out for Frosty.
Look at that.
Good
He knew it's too
connection.
good to be true. Deadzone knew that there was going to be somebody over on the driveway side. There's no chance that that ball carrier was the furthest one over towards the Tram side and only watching stairs. If that ball carrier was the furthest one over, they would have been looking towards driveway and stairs. So just those small little nuanceical differences, he can tell where positions are for other FaZe members.
And those smart plays are leading to more success here for Optic Gaming, now tied up, taking the lead. Still, though, early days here in the first round of Oddball. And Lucid patrolling around this, knowing that there's going to be a push coming through here any second now. Massive grenade is going to land on the feet of Frosty there, allowing TriPPPeY to be able to get that kill as well as the assist for Lucid here. And TriPPPeY's still going to continue to be alive and be a problem right around the Tram. He got ball, excuse me, it's available to get picked up now, and Optic Gaming can continue to hold this one down as this Tram setup and also the concurrent slays that came through force FaZe all the way back on the PD side of the map, thus giving Optic a decent amount of time to game.
Yeah, Formal was the only one alive. He realized his teammate got picked off, so he is going to drop and slay. Sees one over at Dumpster, another one at B stairs. They're going to try this rotation towards driveway, but it's going to be cut off. I don't know how they're going to stop Frosty here.
Well, they managed to do it together, but with Formal being one shot, Renegade knew that that was going to be an easy opportunity for him to get the win. He actually gets 2 kills out of that one here. That's going to have to force his ball outside. Here comes Royal 2 around the corner. And goodbye, my friend. I thought he was actually going to dip it outside toward palm trees. Instead, he kept it inside of the Tram. And that's just going to continue.
He could maybe loop on over towards Commando and maybe toss out Dumpster side, but sometimes as too many members fall on your team, in-play ball isn't that effective. Tossing off balcony, you might just be tossing it in someone's hands over the palm trees anyways. So there's times that player's going to opt to see if they can get some sort of trade or slay versus just a quick toss out into the center of the map.
Smart decision making there in a lot of those instances. Watch out, Deadzone. He had to deal with a SnakeBite on the flank. Gets that Stalker Rifle. He also has a Shroud screen to work with here too. That Stalker Rifle is going to hit like a hammer and do a decent amount of damage. Be careful there, actually. I don't know if you saw that, the color of the grenade, the plasma there landing inside of the Shroud screen there. So that actually was quite an unfortunate series of events that occurred there, leading to Optic Gaming being able to get control of the ball again, and they're getting ever so close to finishing up this first round, Dave.
Yeah, the ups and downs of that Shroud screen is 1, they can't shoot you with bullets very easily because you're hidden. 2, it's a grenade magnet.
Yeah.
Magnet. Let's be real.
Yeah.
As soon as people see that go down, they're like, all right, I'm going to chuck a grenade in there and hit somebody.
Indeed, indeed. 91 and counting here as Optic Gaming looking to close out this first round. And I got to say, this has been impressive from them. They're going to have to give this one up just for a second here. 5 points, or excuse me, 6 points is all Optic Gaming needs out of this. What does FaZe Clan opt to do? It seems like they're going to continue to
I like this play by FaZe.
setup.
They're pushing out Tram. They're taking over more ground, forcing Optic to get a couple rounds of slays in order to get close to that ball. Just like that, they spot Frosty over at the Neons. One-on-one against Lucid. Lucid's going to win that. That's going to be Renegade, Royal 2, and Frosty. And this one's all but over. Ball in the hands of TriPPPeY. Counts it down, 2, 1. That's going to be round 1 here for Optic Gaming.
Optic start this one off nicely. A decent amount of control at the start. FaZe Clan never really felt like they were in that game.
And the scary part, though, is FaZe outslayed. Outslayed by 5 kills there and lost by a significant margin. Lost
is quite significant.
52 to 100 there.
Yeah, that's pretty big. That is pretty big. They're going to need to have to button those things up if they want to win this, and if they want to win this event. And Optic Gaming doing everything right here in this series.
Going off to a different style of start here, though. FaZe, they get a kill right away. They grab the ball, bring it back towards tower. Now this is going to work out if they get the follow-up slays, but if they do not get these follow-up kills, that's just going to be delivering a ball setup for Optic Gaming.
Renegade gets himself the camo. He gets out of there. He knows he's getting pressed, so he's going to have to run away from this one and get eyes. And the camo's going to give him a decent amount of movement opportunities here, but he doesn't really gain that much information, just knowing that where these guys are going to be located. And all you get out of that is a trade.
Just spotting around so many players. SnakeBite trying to finish off Deadzone here. And that's going to be 2 down for FaZe. That could be the sign here for Deadzone to grab this ball, but they need to clear out Renegade off the tram.
Oh, that nade.
Death nade.
Right? Like a little martyrdom there to just toss that one forward. Now though, Lucid, he does get Frosty to one shot there, but just look at the way that they're supporting one another. The thing is, they got to get out of this area.
Lucid trying to buy some time. He's the furthest one up, and they want to clear him out. That's going to be Renegade picking off Lucid. World 2 getting a kill of his own. And Deadzone trying to equalize this, but this is going to be some time on the board here for FaZe Clan.
Frosty looking to play a little keep away with that repulsor. Here comes the push, and World 2 is anticipating maybe something coming from Neon Street, but instead it's going to be over toward the tower side. And World 2 is anticipating maybe another player potentially pushing toward Cafe, which is why he's playing real slow here. And they knew exactly where he was able to lay down a few shots on him, but not really enough here in this instance. SnakeBite, though, trying to get eyes on that camo. It's popped up here. Formal's got to be careful. He was already weakened at that point. Deadzone, though, looking to get involved in the action. Frosty watching up on top. And Frosty super weak there. Big kill. World 2 having to deal with Deadzone in front of him, and that's just going to be another camo grab there for Optic.
Look at Deadzone just buying so much time and attention in front of the tram.
Yeah.
All those players, like you saw Royal 2 running out to try to get him. You saw Frosty uncertain of where this person was in tram. In fact, jumping off front balcony out of fear in the player inside tram.
It's felt like this round has gone on forever, and it is only 15 to 15.
Yeah, 2 minutes to have passed by of these teams just trying to slay each other. And it's not for lack of attempts.
Yeah.
You've seen FaZe many times grabbing this ball, bringing it back, trying to get a setup, but these teams just respecting each other so much, realizing don't go all 4 down, do not let them get a full setup here.
TriPPPeY had to unfortunately reload his gun there. Deadzone, though, does get picked off. And that's going to be 3 down now for Optic Gaming. Last player left alive is Formal. He's all the way in the back, and he's actually going in for the fight. Wins it against Frosty. Opening up an opportunity here for him with that Stalker rifle. Decent amount of ammo in it, and he's got eyes on it, but he's not actually going to go and pick that up.
Doesn't have to worry about it no more. This trap no longer valid. This trap that Royal 2 is setting, he's not going to fall into it since the ball just reset.
World 2 still back there.
He's just worried about he just wants this free PD kill. And the second that he sees that Formal's over here, he's gonna move. And there's the move, pushes over towards the A gen. Throws on a shroud, probably a grenade gonna fly in there, as we said before.
Well played, though. Try and force that opportunity there for Optic, or rather for FaZe Clan, but for Optic Gaming, they're gonna be the ones that benefit from it. So, we're gonna go back to a very similar setup to what we saw in that first round there, where Optic Gaming ran away with it. So if they continue to play the way that they have been inside of this tram station with the holds that they've had, Dave, this could be a quick one for FaZe Clan. They're going to have to break this ASAP.
Yeah, and also at the pace that these teams are going as far as slays versus time passing and how much time they have on the board, this would only get to around like a 45 or 50 mark for these teams. So not saying that's just going to end at that mark, but sometimes you have to look at an objective game such as Oddball and say, all right, based on how these teams are playing, how scrappy we are we trying to go for 100 here, or is it okay to scrap up 5 seconds, drop and slay?
Yeah.
And this is one of those games where it's very valuable to grab it for 5 seconds, drop and slay. You don't need to go for a full setup in a scenario like this.
With the pressure as high as it is, you got to take what you can get.
Enemy has the ball.
Ball has been played, though, and look at that there. World 2 knew that someone was going to be lingering about inside of red. He finds him inside of the alley, and that is going to just shut him down now, giving him that Stalker rifle. which will give him good weaponry around this cross here to try and help out his teammates. But he's getting peppered with grenades, and Deadzone's got his sight trained on him. And then World 2 knows that this is exactly what's happening here. He can't seem to get away from it. SnakeBite there to help him out. World 2, though, well, he's only going to be by himself here.
No shield for so long.
Yeah, for the entire time, it felt like...
you gotta wonder, like, there's times where that unfortunately plays out that way, where he dies with the rest of his teammates, and there's 3 down. This is going to be a ball in the hands of Lucid once again. And you gotta wonder, are they going to try to set up in Tram and hold it back here, or they're prepping for a rotation? They realize that there's already somebody over at Neon, and in a case like this, TriPPPeY is going to go clear out tires instead of worrying about Neon. And he's already surprised by Renegade in the courtyard.
That is the thing, though, right? Just when you think, oh, those guys are over there, nope, they will find a way to slide and speed their way over to you at a moment's notice.
I think there was some indecisiveness there from Optic during that last setup, because I think in general they either need somebody towards the top C stairs to be able to shoot on Neon along with TriPPPeY, or they just need to commit to the rotate and bring that ball towards B Street.
That is what FaZe Clan are looking to do here, get this ball out of Tram, because it kind of has been a bit of a sore spot for them here. Frosty, though, looking to catch some players off guard, and it's actually going to be Camo player now, called out toward tires, so...
That double back, I like it.
Yeah.
I do like it, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, because he knew he had a teammate there as well, so he can double back and have that guy be occupied in the middle. In most cases, he would have been trained on that, to wait for him to maybe creep around the corner here. World 2, not much you could do out of that one, Bud, but that's a ball rotating over toward arcade side. TriPPPeY has done a pretty decent job with this camo here, just causing a lot of carnage, right? Putting shots in, random shots whenever the opportunity presents itself. Wait a minute, though.
Last few seconds being scooped up by Formal in the PD. Looks like he's going to repulse that plasma grenade onto the player, but still, FaZe break through. They get the kills, and at the 98 mark, you have to wonder, should Formal have tried to scrap up the last 2 seconds, or was Slane the correct play?
That might very well be it there. He's got to get in there right now, and he can't do it in time. And Optic Gaming go up 2-1.
Optic just being the better objective team. Right there, they outslayed 76-68 overall in that game. But the ball score, just a complete different story.
Yeah.
100-52 in round 1. I didn't see what the total score was for FaZe at the end of round 2, but in the end, almost doubling their score each game.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of control there by Optic Gaming. That Tram setup, we were talking about it before, what we were going to see. We hadn't really seen a lot of that because we were doing a lot of live fire. Live fire is always going to be carnage. But in this instance, Optic had the read. They played this one so well. And FaZe Clan, even in situations where they broke the Tram setup and they wanted to try and see if they can, you know, rotate that ball over to PD or do something. You notice a few of those times, even in that last fight, like I would say second to last fight, when SnakeBite had the ball, there was a little bit of indecision there where they weren't quite sure where they wanted to go. Do we want to take this PD? Do we want to take this to Tram? And at that point, when you're not sure in those pivotal moments, that's when things start to fall apart. And Optic were perfectly fine to capitalize on that.
On top of that, too, it felt like Optic were able to find a lot of these Royal 2 traps.
Yeah,
you know, you saw the one where Formal was over in PD, and he just fully avoided it. He didn't decide just to rotate tower to try to flank over at Cafe side. He just went over towards tires and avoided Royal 2 and basically kept him out of the game for 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the second time, too, was when Royal 2 was hiding over at Caution. They knew somebody was out and about, and they were able to find him over at Caution, get that kill, and then make the push on over towards B Street and Tram.
All right, well, now with Optic Gaming up 2-1 here, how does FaZe respond? We're going into King of the Hill next.
This is one Tony said is heavily favored here for FaZe.
We'll see how that plays out. Otherwise, Tony's a liar.
Yeah.
Heard it here first, folks.
Wouldn't doubt it either. He's always coming up, like every time we go out to the restaurant and stuff, he's like, hey, it's my birthday. Can I get like
always
a free
saying
appetizer, a free dessert or something?
Always saying it's his birthday,
just,
this guy.
Yeah, he's always on about it. I'm like, every day can't be your birthday, Tony.
Oh, what's up, Tony? Good to see you there, buddy. Oh, man. Does FaZe find a way to respond and force that Slayer? Because I do think you get to Aquarius Slayer. I happen to quite like FaZe in that situation.
I do as well, especially given the fact that they won the Game 2 Slayer.
Yeah. I
think this is Optic's best opportunity to close out this series. I think this one is a 3-1 Optic win or a 3-2 FaZe win. I don't know if I see a 3-2 Optic win in the series.
And I'm curious also how they play this out too, right? Because we've been seeing teams go for 2 and then just kind of chill around, right? Especially when they have that time advantage. They'll use that to great effect. So do players try and chase after as many points as they can, knowing that this is going to be such a close contest?
Or to see how many drain early on. That'll be the real indicator. Is if there's 3 or 4 minutes on the clock, they ain't going to worry about trying to drain the clock that long. If there's a minute and a half on the clock, absolutely.
FaZe Clan are going to get that control first, but the sniper will go over to Formal's hands here, and he'll bring this around over toward Green, wait for his teammates, because he ended up losing 2 out of that one. But if he can find himself 1 more player here, that'd be big. Tagged up, though, so they know that he's going to be present. And Camo's coming up in a second.
Right there, but oh my God, no scope and Royal 2 on the nest bridge. His team's getting camo. Now they have to somehow use this camo and use the snipe to get a lead here. Optic are down about 60% on this hill. Can they somehow claw this one back?
Yeah, but this hill moves so quickly when you're on it. So, you know, I think if you're Optic, you were fine giving that up considering, you know, what you were able to gain instead. The sniper rifle, the camo.
Setup, but now they just have to actually secure the kills. And when Formal's shooting like that, I wouldn't be too worried about it.
I think he's doing a pretty good job securing the kills, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but he's doing all right. There he goes, 1 more no scope.
When you shoot like that, why even bother zooming in if you're going to hit every shot every way? Formal with the 5-0-1 start, but FaZe answer back. They get a kill. They're in the hill, and they only got about 15% of this hill left to get their first point on the board.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a cap here. I cannot see Deadzone and the rest of Optic stopping this one, so FaZe are going to get on the board. 1 kill here. SnakeBite looking for an opening with that sniper rifle. He also knows that someone's actually going to be hanging around behind him here. So Renegade was there to back his team, or excuse me, Frosty was there to back his teammate up with a trade.
Great heads-up play there, too, by Optic. Not just over-committing towards that B hill. Instead, they got the tower step, they got C-plat, and now they're getting some time in the new hill. They almost have it halfway completed.
I don't think he was able to send that player packing there, but end up losing 3 now. So an opportunity here for FaZe Clan as they have some numbers. It's only going to be 1 player left alive, and it's TriPPPeY. But they get that spawn advantage over toward the tower side. TriPPPeY's now going to look to make a play here. Get some eyes on the Renegade. Gets tags him with 2. Maybe looking for another one as well.
Just great heads-up play between both of them. Trading out in that bandit fight. That's going to be TriPPPeY for Renegade.
Impressive.
But unfortunately, during that time, Lucid fell as well. So FaZe have the advantage. They have the hill. They are not sitting in it right now because they want to secure other locations. They're trying to make sure that mud's clear. They want to make sure that nest is clear.
And camo, which is available right now. And there you go. FaZe Clan managed to get possession of that one. So with that camo control, they're going to see if they can use that as much as possible. But I don't know if that player ended up getting taken out. I don't think so. It might be SnakeBite who had secured it.
Enemy about to
Look at this. Royal 2 just knows it's too good to be true here on this nest side. Just wondering where these players are at. That's going to be a double kill, though. Deadzone and Formal both getting a pick. And Royal 2, the last survivor here at the back of tower. Going to run, try to stay alive in mud. Know he's being hunted. That's going to be Formal and Deadzone clearing out Royal 2 out of the back of the tower.
Yeah, and there's no real position that FaZe can take here to get back into that. So they're going to need to do this the hard way, force their way through this. Now, of course,
God, just drops in. He knows 2 players are down there, and he wants to enter that fight. You got to question if that worked out well. We'd be calling Lucid a god, but you got to wonder. He's running into a disadvantageous fight there in the tunnel with the last 2 members of FaZe.
And FaZe Clan only have a little bit of progress left to gain here, so they do so. They'll go up 2-0. 3 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock. This kind of goes back to that conversation we were having, Dave. I think you're going to start to see FaZe Clan just push their advantages.
Maybe.
I don't think that they're
not on this hill, though.
No.
This one is a little too easy to hide in the back and hold.
Someone can give him an opening here.
They want SnakeBite to be this opening kill.
There's 2 players
Instead,
down.
Renegade
That's a good
somehow
one.
killing Formal with a spike grenade. Somehow killing Lucid with his bandit. I don't know how Renegade does that. You're in a stalemate situation. He pulls out a double kill. The guy's a maniac.
Yeah, he really is, man. So talented. Has constantly been impressive. Came onto the scene back in the Splice days and just always impressed. But SnakeBite looking for this shot here, but the movement, hey, you know what? You go ahead and take those. That's 2 players down right now. 3 players down, as a matter of fact. Make that 4 for Optic Gaming, and FaZe Clan right back on the hill.
1 bullet I'd expect at least 3 to 4 kills knowing that's Renegade out of that one bullet.
Yeah, just a cheeky collateral, you know what I mean? Little things like that.
Based on how he's playing, but scrapping up this hill, and this one is looking dire here for Optic. Tony's prediction coming true, which is even worse.
Yeah.
That's the even worse part. Tony being right.
That's your worst nightmare day.
It is.
The hill.
But Optic, though, managed to fight back now. Got a few players hovering about this camo here. Deadzone's going to be so weak, but Lucid wants to go after this, and he's going to go for it, but Frosty finds him from behind. He's going to tag him a few times, and that nade is going to just be a magnet right toward him. Renegade now wants to grab it, but instead it's going to be Formal and TriPPPeY working in tandem to stop him in his tracks now. SnakeBite jiggling around the corner, getting a lot of damage out. 2 players at no shield, so that means that those guys are just going to have to back up entirely here. No one has been able to get that camo yet.
I like this play. If you're not committing and going to the camo, just get that hill time. Put that time pressure onto FaZe, and Deadzone gets the double kill. There's our 2 members, gets the camo. Royal 2, the only one alive that can stop this. And I have a feeling that FaZe are going to be setting up for the next hill over in mud.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying before, Dave, right? How difficult it is to break that. He had a great choice to make there, and he just decided, I'm going to go and play for the score. I'm going to get that one locked in for my team, and they are successful in that. And on top of that, too, I think they were able to get that camo. Yes, they were. Deadzone has it in his hand, so mission accomplished there. They get the point. They're back in this game, but it is going to be on the opposite side of the map here, so they'll need to try and clear out some of these members of FaZe Clan. They're able to do so against 2 of them.
Here we go, Deadzone on the hunt over at Cuts. Takes out Royal 2. They're gonna start the time here. Now can they get the kills? Deadzone's camo runs out at the least optimal time over there on the bags. Lucid watching Big Door and realizes he has to reposition. He wants to get up high, otherwise all these FaZe members are going to outnumber Optic on top center.
And that would be quite problematic here. But he'll jump back to this because he does see his teammates there to back him up. And for FaZe, they're just doing their due diligence, trying to clear all of this, right? Look around, see who's hanging around some of these corners here. 2 players down now, so a lot of work to do here for Lucid. Unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to accomplish anything. And that allows Optic, or rather FaZe, to get back into this one here. 1 minute, 59 seconds left on the clock, by the way.
This one here is the decider. Do FaZe get this hill and then slay out for top center? Or do they have to fight for top center for that 3rd and final point?
Well, it's looking quickly like it's going to be that top center battle. Camo's up now. Beautiful read from Deadzone.
I like this play too by Royal 2. Just giving up on that, realizing he does not have the position. He gets the pick off on Lucid, and he cannot just charge straight for that camo and get a free kill here to Deadzone. And look at this, just putting a distraction on, trying to lay down shots, and gonna potentially pick off Deadzone with this pressure.
Yeah, they had no choice but to get him out of there, and mission accomplished, but he's not going to be dead quite yet. And if anything, Royal 2 is going to be the one that's in a bit of a blender here, trying to win this battle out. Half shields, but it's going to be enough for Deadzone to get the win.
Now, I love those sprints back and forth.
Yeah.
At that pillar. Deadzone sprinting as if he's going to round the corner, get a melee, forcing Royal 2 to sprint out and give him the headshot angle.
Good awareness from Formal. He saw the camo player there. Renegade has to be frustrated with that, but SnakeBite's there for the pickup.
Camo has not been safe here in Salt Lake City.
No, it is not.
I'll tell you that. Over in Atlanta last event, we saw some of the most valuable camos and optimal camos that we've seen so far throughout the season. Quite the opposite here in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, must be something in the water. Could be the air, I don't know. You know, helps out your vision a little bit. Frosty, they want to remove him from this tower position here because he has been such a thorn on their side, helping his teammates be able to get control of that middle area. And there's a lot of progress that was just gained by FaZe Clan. So now the job's going to have to be done here as well to remove him from it. Yeah, beautiful nade placement is going to remove Renegade from the equation.
Expecting that second player to come on through. That's going to be Royal 2 falling. Now you got to wonder, Optic could have been getting a little bit of time here. Probably isn't going to come back to bite him, but look at this, wasting the first clip. Doesn't want this in the hands of FaZe. In fact, he's going to say, you even have to reload it. I ain't going to do that for you.
Yeah, what a guy. Not much you could do with that one. Gun feels a little cursed right now, Dave. I'll be honest with you.
Both these teams realizing that this game is going to be decided on this hill most likely. They don't want to overstep, give up those free kills. Look at this posturing for that top center tower. There's
Clean
SnakeBite. Royal 2 also falls. That's going to be their cue to get some time.
Big opportunity.
Optic going in, and they know there's players at bags. What can they do about it? He's getting no scope.
When you need to clutch up at the most pivotal moments, you can always lean on Formal to be that guy. And he gets that third point for Optic. Could very well be the end of the game here if it keeps going like this, but you still have a minute to work with here. Just under a minute now.
I have a feeling Optic are going to go for slays here. I don't expect them to step inside this hill. They're going to try slay FaZe Clan for 45 seconds. Can they do it?
FaZe will be getting control of that garage side of the map here. SnakeBite can't seem to get away from that. He's been having a little bit of a rough series here.
Camos are not safe here in Salt Lake City, I'm telling you.
And the green gun does the work. 3 players down now. SnakeBite off the respawn. 30 seconds remaining. Frosty's got control. He also has the translocator. Now, no one's going to be coming up from the other side. Oh boy, he might have actually TP'd in front of a bunch of people, but manages to stay alive at least for a moment here.
Somehow gets the nade informal, but TriPPPeY takes him out. Now Royal 2 and Renegade have to push all the way across here from pillars to try to make it towards the hill. This is not looking good, Golden Boy. This is FaZe's last chance.
Frosty's coming out of the big door here. He's going to have to push this. 10 seconds remaining now. And at this point, you can't make any mistakes if you're FaZe Clan. You need to be pretty much perfect in order to get this one. But a massive nade is going to stop him right in his tracks. Lucid going up against Royal 2. Royal 2, smart play there, backing away. Renegade, though, he's not going to be long for this world. He gets picked off, but Frosty's there to help his teammate out. Halfway progress gain. Is this actually going to happen right now?
I don't know. This is insane. But right now, Deadzone's going to look for any sort of kills on the outskirts. They aren't just going to YOLO it right into the hill, but as I say that, somehow slips by. They don't know he's there. Deadzone gets behind, gives the pick onto Frosty. Nobody else FaZe near the hill to get in, and that's going to be it. Optic Gaming winning 3-1. Punch their ticket to the winners bracket finals.
Oh boy. After a traumatic Friday for Optic Gaming, it's all success for the Green Wall here on Saturday, and they will move forward. FaZe Clan going down to the lower bracket. There was an opportunity there, man, but it just escaped them at the worst possible time, and they were not expecting that flank coming in as well.
I was just going to say, the play right there totally for Optic was try to get some kills near Nest, try to get some kills near bags, something like that. But all of a sudden, Deadzone saw that opening, saw that opportunity,
play.
Just sprinted towards the back of green and was not punished for it. Those are one of those do or die plays. That could have very well been a free kill coming out of Deadzone, and then FaZe having a strong setup and trying to close it out and clutch that up.
Yeah, that was a tough game there for FaZe, but for Optic Gaming, whew, man, this team, way to dig deep in those moments where it matters most. And now they find themselves in a winner bracket final situation yet again. This Optic Gaming team built for success, looking to finally right a wrong all season long, not being able to lift that trophy. And this is the best opportunity that these teams, that this team in particular would have. Look at the way that Space Station struggling in the lower bracket. Optic beat them, right? So now, and also, let's not forget that coming out of this upper side here, that's a great advantage for Optic Gaming to have. I'll tell you what, all smiles across the board for the Green Wall, but let's actually see who Blaze has standing by. It's Lucid for an interview.